Hi there, Miranda Alt here with Keller Williams Success Realty and the Miranda Alt team with your Monday market update for Monday, September 12th, 2022. Thanks for watching. A quick look at your McHenry County statistics for the last 7 days. We had 152 new listings hit the market. We have 145 that went under contract, 116 closed sales, 68 price changes, 38 on the private network, and 3 that have expired. Now, this is one of the first weeks that we've had less number of homes go under contract than we had new. So we have 152 new listings, only 145 under contract. This week last year, we had 179 new listings and 192 go under contract. So we still had that inversion of more homes going under contract than we had newly listed. We had 130 closed sales this week last year and 51 on the private network. So as you can see, there's not really a whole lot of difference between this year and last year, even though all over the news, all you're hearing is about the crumbling housing market and all of these things. Of course, we've talked about this before. That's fear mongering. It's just everybody trying to get you to watch their news story because that's what sells more ads. So if you really want to know what's going on in the housing market, what we know is happening is that yes, the interest rates have gone up. Interest rates are hovering around 6%, which is the highest that they've been since 2008. So that does feel very, very uncomfortable to would-be home buyers. But what's really happening in the real estate market right now is that more homeowners have more equity than they've ever had before. Statistically, according to CoreLogic, home equity has grown 28% since last year, and the average homeowner has gained over $60,000 in their equity in their home. So we are not going to see the same thing as happened in 2008. I know a lot of people are talking recession. It's all over the news that the feds are hiking the basis rate 75 basis points this week. That is likely to happen later this week. We don't know that for sure, but that's kind of what they're talking, somewhere between 50 and 75 basis points, which that means that actually does not affect the mortgage rate. I know a lot of people think that when the feds hike the prime rate, that means that the mortgage rates are going to go up, and that is not a direct correlation. Now, mortgage rates are likely to go up, but that is because the U.S. government is going to stop buying mortgage-backed securities. They have been the largest buyer of mortgage-backed securities for a long time, and they are going to stop doing that. So that is going to cause interest rates to go up yet again. So we will see likely higher interest rates in the coming weeks. Now, what does that mean for you? If you're a homeowner right now and you refinanced last year and you've got a 2-point-something interest rate, and you're thinking about moving, and you don't want to lose that interest rate, here's something to consider. Number one is that you probably have way more equity in your home than you've ever had before. So you can use that equity to go buy your next home. Even if you're paying a higher interest rate, you still can refinance when those rates do come back down, because we know that they will, and then you'll refinance. So that's one thing. Number two is that if your home really is not working for you, no matter what your interest rate is, your home is still going to be a good investment. Historically speaking, housing does well in a recession. The prices might not increase, but they're certainly not going to crumble. The only time in history when we saw housing values plummet was in 2008. And that was much more largely a banking issue than that was a housing issue. Remember, we've talked about this before, that the difference between 2008 and right now is that in 2008, you had a whole lot of people getting mortgages that they could not afford. So the minute we hit a recession and people started to lose their jobs, the mortgage industry crumbled because you had people who had mortgages and now they couldn't pay their mortgages, and so they lost their homes. They also didn't have very much equity because all of a sudden we had this influx of inventory. I've talked about this before, we had 13 months inventory back in 2008, depending on what price ranges and what areas you were looking at. Right now, we still have like 1 to 2 months inventory in McHenry County. That's not a lot. So we still have extremely low inventory, which is always going to drive the prices. Now, prices are still up from this time last year. They're up still about 15%. So you've still got a really strong housing market. So if you need to sell your home in order to buy your next home, no matter what your interest rate is going to be, you're still in a good spot because you're going to make enough money on your sale that you can go ahead and buy that next thing. Now, here's another thing to think about. A lot of homeowners I've been talking to have been talking about how they still have to sell their current home in order to buy the next one. Right now, because the market's a little bit softer in the fall than it is in the spring, we are seeing the home sale contingencies be accepted. So in the spring, if you were writing an offer on a house that you wanted and you had to sell your house in order to buy that house, that was not going to happen. A lot of my clients had to sell their house, move in with their parents, then go find their next house, and then write an offer. That is not a situation that many people are happy about doing. So right now I'm talking to a lot of my sellers about this might not be the hottest sales market like it was in April and May, but man, is it a better buyer's market. It is still competitive, but it's less competitive than it was in April and May. So you can get that house that you want without having to do the double move. So this is a great time for any of you out there who still want to get a great sale price on your current home, but yet you need to sell that in order to get the next one. This is your market. Do not wait for the spring, because that is a buyer's market that you do not want to be involved in. Next spring is likely going to be just as, maybe not quite as crazy as 2022, April and May, but it's going to be up there. We are not going to all of a sudden get the inventory that we need to meet the demands of the spring housing market. Yes, interest rates are likely to be higher through this fall and probably the winter, but then those interest rates might be coming down by the spring, and you're going to get a way more competitive buyer's market, which is not going to be fun. And if you're a buyer, you get locked in right now, in 6 months, you can still refinance. You're going to be just fine. So my advice is, if you are one of those people who has to sell your current home in order to buy your next home, do it now. This is a great buyer's market to be involved in. It's still competitive. It's still a great market. It's still very low inventory. You're not going to get that great deal on a house, so don't be writing offers for $50,000 under list price. It's not going to happen. But it is a market where you can get a home sale or home close contingency accepted. If you want to know more about what that involves, please give me a call, reach out to me, Facebook message me, post in the comments below your questions and I will answer them. I am Miranda Alt with Keller Williams Success Real Estate and the Miranda Alt team. Thank you so much for watching. I'm at 815-529-0777 or mirandaaltteam@gmail.com. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.